Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's Get in Tune. I am Michael Gracia, and this is Get in Tune. First of all, everyone, thank you for joining me. I have a really exciting show planned tonight. I have two guys who have created, from what I viewed, a terrific manga-style comic. I'm excited to talk to them about the stuff. Now, normally, you guys, I will say I bring the Wiz on. You guys know that because it is Wiz Wednesday, and I don't have it on my computer right now. So please, as you see on the bottom there, where is it? Right there at the Wiz Comic. You can read that on Instagram and Facebook and see today's wonderful strip. So why wait? We're going to bring on the writer and artist, the writer Michael Stinson and artist Devan Muse. Hello,
Hey, everybody.
Hey, man.
Hey, how's it going?
Doing good. How are you guys tonight?
Great.
Little nervous. First time actually being on any kind of podcast of any kind.
Yeah, same here.
Well, you know what? Here's the thing. Relax. I'm going to tell you right now. I have been told by many guests who have come on nervous after the show that I have made them feel comfortable and relaxed, and they've enjoyed it. And I've had a lot of repeat guests on, so hopefully I'm doing something right. And hopefully you guys are, feel that way as well, because my goal here, the whole point of Get in Tune, if you're not aware of it, is for me to just talk to artists and writers, people in the cartoon industry, whether you're animators, comic artists, it doesn't matter to me. I love comics and animation, and I just want to talk to people who work on them. And if you're an independent creator like you guys are, like I'm considered, I really respect that. And I really want to promote that. I want to make sure people know about fantastic stuff that they wouldn't normally see because they can't turn on the TV, or it may not be found in their local shop, So I love coming on and promoting people, and that's what this show is about. So I want to say hi to Dylan in the audience, and excuse me, Incoherent Ramble. Hello, and let's see. And Dylan asks, who's Stinson and Devan, and what is BITEMARK? Well, aren't you lucky you're here, Dylan? Because tonight you're going to find out all about that. And let's start, and you could choose how you want to go. But tell me about, your comic background. What got you into comics? Who were some of your inspirations? I know, Michael, you're the writer, so if you have writer inspirations, that's cool. If you have artists though too, whatever. And same thing with you, Devan. I'll let you guys choose who goes first, and however you want to do it.
Yeah,
Michael, you have the floor.
Sure, thanks. Some of my inspirations are, Jonathan Hickman, that actually Scott Snyder, James Tynion the fourth. What else? Nicholas Winding Refn, the director. Yeah.
So you have a lot more. Is it film based influence?
Yeah, it's a mixture of film and comics.
Yeah, and you mentioned to me backstage that you have done some like acting and background work and stuff. So film? I mean, film is a major influence for you. Then I take it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And what's great about that, and I've done animation, which is technically film. And writing is a little different, than comics, but it's very similar in the storytelling process. So I think that's cool. I look forward to hearing about your writing process as we go on.
Cool.
And for both of you, this is your first comic, correct?
Yeah, it's my first comic. I'm not sure about Devan though.
Okay.
First one, like really hitting Kickstarter and seriously going for publishing. I've worked on my own stuff for myself way back since I was a kid, with varying degrees of seriousness, success, and quality. Still working on my own other smaller projects here and there, but this one, BITEMARK, is the big one that I'm hoping really sparks a wildfire, so to speak.
Awesome. And Devin, tell us about some of your influences. What got you into comics, things like that.
Well, how much time do you have?
Well, we got at least an hour for the show, but I did want to talk about other things. It's up to you.
Well, if I had to say what got me into comics, I guess I would probably have to put that on the shoulders of my uncle Tommy. He's probably the first person to ever actually get me a comic, and I just remember he was always the coolest guy. He just had a room full of boxes of old Marvel and DC comics like Thor and Hulk, and just shelves and shelves of cool stuff. He sadly passed away a few years ago, but I still look back on everything he did for me with just pride, generosity. Just I am who I am now because of him.
That's fantastic. That is great to hear. I actually, it's funny you said, because I have an uncle who has passed on, and we used to look at comic strips together and draw out of the newspapers, and he's a big part of my love of newspaper strips.
That's awesome.
So who, Devin, who were some of your inspirations that you enjoyed reading that influenced the type of work that you do now?
I think one of my biggest influences, art and comics wise, would probably be Hirohiko Araki, the creator of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Not sure if either of you know what I'm talking about, or if I'm just saying.
I know the
sounds here.
characters slightly. I haven't watched it or read it.
Well, his work was very much an acquired taste. His stuff is very weird. Like, you never see anything like it. Also, I have a cat. I'm not sure if
It's
I need to
okay.
say that out loud. I have a cat.
Hey, I closed my door so my cat doesn't come in. So that's listen, he comes in. The other day, I'll tell you, I work from home. He sat in front of my keyboard for about 5-10 minutes, preventing me from working my day job.
He does that whenever I'm at the drawing tablet too.
Yeah.
Anyway, before I was interrupted, after a while, I just found everything about his work just fascinating and inspiring. Just his stuff is so undeniably him. And you gotta respect that. He doesn't just copy whatever's popular, even though he kind of started that way. And he's not afraid of just getting weird and drawing what personally interests him. My motto is, forgive me for being so pretentious to say I have a motto. It's better to be weird than to be conventional, even if conventional is good.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. I'm gonna have to check this out. People have told me about the anime, and I prefer to read manga over watching anime, so maybe I'll give the book a try one day. I have like a bunch of books over there that I'm in the middle of. So
I've got stacks that I bought and never even cracked open.
Yeah,
yeah, I have a lot of digital comics that I haven't read yet.
A lot of what kind of comics? I'm sorry.
Digital.
Oh, digital. Yeah, I got a bunch of those too. But I recently purchased, and this is just the fanboy in me. I don't know if you've seen, but they put out the Transformers manga. So they're putting out like pieces of the Japanese books, so when the original show premiered, back in the 80s, the Japanese version, they made a manga. So the first however many stories was based on the TV series that I grew up on. Then they had the movie, and they did the manga movie version. And this is all in Japan. We didn't get this here. Then whatever the next season was of it, where they end with the headmasters and target masters in our story in America here, they continued on in Japan. And they continued the series, and they did whatever versions, and they continually made manga out of it. So what they've done is they've taken like certain chapters, like story arcs from the Japanese stuff, and have added it to a collection in America here, and we have, I believe, 3 or 4 volumes out right now. So if you're a Transformers fan, it's great. And I'm a Transformer. You don't see it. I have no Transformers decor here, but I was 10 years old when Prime died. It was one of the hardest things to see in my life at the time. So I have those books on my shelf. Anyway, enough about me. So how did you guys get together to create this comic?
I believe I posted an ad on Reddit, a post on Reddit looking for an artist, and that's where I met Devan. I mean, I could be wrong, but that's what I remember.
It was definitely through that subreddit.
Yeah.
I know Reddit. I know Reddit's kind of a cesspool, but some places are good. I honestly can't remember if I ever actually answered an ad you put up, or if you just kind of found me completely by coincidence. But either way, it happened, and here we are.
Yeah.
Nice. I mean, listen, you guys, what I've seen, you guys put out a really nice looking book.
Thank you.
And that means you guys worked very well together, in my opinion. And you can see the love from both the story and the art, that you guys really believe in this story, and that's what I like to see when I look at books. You could usually look at art and see if the artist was really into the story or not, and I see that in you guys.
Thank you.
So, since you were looking for an artist, Michael, this is obviously your idea.
Yes.
Hold on. In Incoherent Ramble, I'm sorry, I forgot what your actual name is, but we will get a look at the art style, and we'll talk about that question. They ask, what is the inspiration for the art style? But when I bring up the art, we'll talk about it. Okay. But it's a really nice manga style. But Michael, getting back to the story. So this is kind of like your baby. Then you created this, or did you have Devan have input? How did that work?
I created it about 3 or 4 years before I met Devan, or even, I had the idea since 2017, and over time I was just, hacking away at it. And it wasn't until like around 2020, like the first few months of the pandemic, that I got the spark to write it completely and knocked it out.
Okay, and it's a werewolf horror-esque story.
Yes.
Is this is that a genre that you readily are into, kind of like the horror, or is this?
Oh, yeah, I love horror. Horror is my absolute favorite genre. It's the first genre that I fell in love with. Everything I write is horror.
Okay.
Yeah, everything.
And was it always planned as a comic?
Oh, it was planned. I never really thought of the format. I just knew that I wanted it to be a story.
Okay.
And then as I started writing it, I realized that, maybe this could be a comic.
Okay. And obviously you've been a fan of comics for a while yourself, so you understand the format. All right. And Devan, when you first got the script, what did you think? Were you like, wow, this is a great story, or wow, this is going to be fun to draw? What was your thoughts reading the script?
I was a big fan of the script as I saw it. I was really really interesting. Sorry, I'm just kind of drawing a bit of a verbal blank at the moment.
It's okay.
The way the script was written was in such a way that kind of gave me a lot of freedom in regards to like panel layout and page design.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes allowing me to devote almost an entire page to a single big important shot, or just letting certain moments linger to really build the atmosphere.
Yeah.
That extra breathing room I had I feel really helped me just sort of be able to push the script and the story to like the furthest it can go.
Mm-hmm.
Though it might be a little egotistical for me to say that. Like,
no, I mean, listen,
because it was all still his script, his story, his characters, the arc and the pathos and everything was all on him.
Yeah. Well, let's take a look at some of the art. I'm going to pull up. You sent me the comic digitally. I'm not going to show the entire thing, just the first few pages, so people can get a feel of the style. They can get a feel of the look, and you can talk about what we're seeing if you want to. But oops, hold on, wrong button there. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look right here first. So this is the cover.
Mm-hmm.
And we can see kind of a werewolf-looking bat type of here. And this is obviously the main character. And can you tell us about her?
Her name is Mickey. She's very repressed, and she shrinks into every space she goes into. And this story is kind of just about her coming out of her shell.
Okay, and just that, out of curiosity, what made you choose a female, hero for the story?
I've heard that psychologically people connect more in horror stories with female characters.
Okay.
So so all of my characters are usually female, with the exception of like maybe one story. My characters are usually female, and it's easier for me to write about myself through that lens for some reason.
Okay, I mean, I'll be honest, I never heard that thing about the horror genre.
Yeah.
But I honestly, I don't pay attention to it. I'm not a horror fan. I don't like horror movies.
No.
No, I mean, listen, I'm not saying I'm not a fan of this.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
It does kind of make sense when you step back and think about it. I mean, the last girl is like a trope and a term for a reason.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to scroll another page, but yeah, I will read horror. I can read it in comic form, but I can't watch like live action. I can't watch animated horror. I can't watch anything like that. No matter how bad I want to watch something, I can't. Yeah. So let's move on. I'm going to just zoom out a little bit here. Let's zoom that out just a little bit more. And we're going to move on to the first page. Now, while we're looking at these pages here, let's do a little bit more. There we go. Let's go to the question. What inspired the art style?
It's hard to really pin down like one specific thing. Just like what I have now is kind of just the culmination of all of the different stuff and tricks I've picked up and cobbled together over the years. I mean, I guess you could say that I've really been manga has been a big part of my influence, shonen manga specifically, as you can kind of already tell. The black and white with like a dot halftone for like shading and gradients and the like. There's always a look I really liked, and I've learned a lot of fun ways to play with it.
Now, since like you said, this is a manga influence, which we can tell, and I like what I'm seeing. What I know you mentioned the JoJo. I don't remember the full title, but what other manga have you been into that maybe has been an influence that we can look at, and get, to maybe see where you're looking at for your work.
Well, while I wouldn't say that my level of ink work and draftsmanship is anywhere near his level. As far as just horror manga pacing and atmosphere and the like, are you familiar at all with Junji Ito?
Oh yeah.
I'm not good with names. I'd have to see.
Uzumaki, the story with everything being obsessed with spirals.
It sounds like something I may have heard about, but I don't know. I mean, I'm not like a diehard manga person, but I enjoy reading it, and I get, when I see nice work in that style, I get excited. Uh,
I get that.
Yeah.
Nobody's heard of everything, but
Yeah.
in the whole area of like horror manga, he's essentially the top dog.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no. I mean, listen, it's funny. My influence is actually a lot of anime when I'm not drawing like cartoony stuff.
Yeah.
Because of all the shows I grew up as a kid, Battle of the Planets, Voltron, even Transformers, like I mentioned, that's all, overseas animated. It has all that whole anime style to it.
Yeah.
So
I'm the same way. Just one generation later, Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, no, that's yeah.
Yeah. This is really nice, though. I'm enjoying your backgrounds. You got some really nice composition. I love this piece right here. I don't want to go too crazy into this. You tell me when you guys think I should stop showing the page.
Oh no, you're good.
Well, I'm not going to go through all 90 pages here.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Now that kind of eliminate the point of getting it printed.
Yeah. I mean, it's really nice. I love the way your paneling is. I just. And, I just saw a certain word there, a 3-letter word. So I'm assuming this is not geared towards kids, right?
Not exactly. We kind of go for like an older audience, kind of teenager, young adults.
Okay.
But kids can read it. I mean, it's.
I'd say it's PG-13 at the worst.
Yeah, that's the best way
Okay.
to put it. Yeah.
And I get some. Go ahead.
Never mind.
No, say it. I was
going to say this might be a good place to stop the preview, but then I remembered one of my favorite panels is on the next 2 pages. So just go to that one.
I'll go 2 pages. I just love the shadowing and stuff you got on here on this guy. Looks really nice. We're coming up to your favorite panel.
Should be the next one, actually. I miscounted. Okay. Just that shot. I love those sort of. Yeah, I love those sort of just intense looks.
That's a good place to stop it. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, no. I mean, the art, it's building up to something. I could totally see, the story. It's building up to something very interesting. Let's see. I see your work compared to. I can't read that too far away. Sorry. Let me put it up on the screen. You got a comment that says, "I've seen your work compared to Hellstar." Is that Rima?
Remina. That's
Remina.
that's another Junji Ito story, I believe.
Okay. Whoa, we lost Michael. Hopefully he comes back. So let's take a look at the Kickstarter while we're here. Boom. There we are. So you're halfway to your goal about.
Yeah, with less than 72 hours.
Wow. Let me bring you back. Hello, welcome back.
Welcome
My
back to the land of the living.
Yeah, my browser closed. Sorry.
It's okay. I thought maybe you weren't having fun.
Oh, damn. I'm having a good time.
So unfortunately, at the moment, I can't play this video because audio. I'm on a Mac, and for some reason, StreamYard and Mac audio don't work well together. If I play it, I'll hear it. But, So let's take a look at what we got going on here. So our story opens in what's that? East Coast city, where the mysterious beast has hunted for the better part of a decade. So I'm not going to read the whole thing, but now the lettering, is this hand lettered or is this a font you chose?
It's a font. I'm not really so confident in my own handwriting to do any of my lettering by hand.
Okay. Yeah, no, I spent some time lettering comics. All I could do is writing caps now. I can't. I forgot how to write script in lowercase. I've been doing it for so many years. So about BITEMARK. Now, instead of reading this, you want to give us a little bit about BITEMARK?
Yeah, it's inspired by. I was reading Tokyo Ghoul a lot when I was coming out with the story. I was in film school. I was taking a Greyhound bus, and I was and I was also thinking of a story that involved rebirths and transformations and repression. And I thought that werewolves were the best vehicle to use to tell the story that I wanted to tell. And BITEMARK is a coming of age story about a person, coming into themselves.
And I see, an American Werewolf in London, Ginger Snaps, The Howling. I saw the first two. I didn't see The Howling. Yeah. It's your take on werewolf lore. Now, are werewolves your favorite monster?
Yeah, I think they are. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, mine too. I've always found werewolves. For me, growing up, I used to love the old Universal black and white monster movies.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
And because those things don't really scare me as an adult. As a kid, they terrified me. But everything like that they made originally, except for a couple of films, kind of had a book behind it, But the Wolfman didn't. It was just kind of a made-up story that they did. And I just really enjoyed that because there was no book to say, okay, there's Dracula. I'm going to go read Dracula now. I could just go look up werewolf lore and make up my own stories because I didn't have something to base it on,
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I fell in love with werewolves for myself and how they became my favorite monster. But I do a lot of humor stuff, so I love having like silly versions of them. But yeah, no, this is really nice here. And what inspired? I'm just looking here. It says so. Okay, this is a nice piece here.
Yeah, it's great.
I like that. I love your use of, obviously the contrast to add the white in, and how the fur goes as opposed to the action lines in the background. It's just really a nice piece. Wow, I'm just going to geek out on artwork all night. It sounds like.
By all means, continue geeking. It is great for my ego.
So you say here, for me, werewolves represents a sense of freedom. Although a painful monthly transformation sounds like torture and an unwanted curse, Upon transformation, these beings are unbound, no longer restricted by physical and social expectations, or required to answer someone. I like that. So now you call them freedom, and you explained what you meant.
Yeah.
By that. Do you feel that okay, in the story, because I haven't read the entire comic, like I said.
Yeah.
But in the story, is this sense of freedom? How do I want to say this? Because I didn't write this question down or anything. I'm just kind of thinking about it on the spot here. But is the idea of freedom really more about the personal freedom of like a person growing up and becoming, who they're breaking away from who they were to who they're becoming, kind of like, if I'm understanding your story.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I just want to say, because it sounds really nice. And the reason I ask these questions is because, when I'm at shows, I work a lot with kids and teens and stuff. Yeah. And I love that I have something I can recommend to them. Especially if they, if they're more along the lines of a shy type of person, which a lot of artists tend to be. If you saw me, outside this show, I'd be very quiet. I'm very to myself. I live in my head. I think most artists do.
Yeah.
So, this is coming out really, really nice. Let's take a look over here. Ooh. So this is the book?
Yes.
We'll see if there's any. Is there sound on this video, or are you just showing the book?
I can't recall.
If there is sound, it's negligible. Doesn't matter. It'd just be the sound of pages flipping.
Okay, let's take a look and see. Where'd it go? So if I'm seeing this isn't even printed at. Is this at natural comic book size? Correct. It's more of a.
It's more of a manga.
It's more
size.
Of manga size. Okay.
Yeah.
It's nice. I like that. Let's take a look at here. We got your images here. I love your caricatures of yourselves. These are great. But let's take a look over here, unless it's below. I don't know. Oh, yeah, let's talk about Lucha. Lucha is that your company, or is that someone else's?
It's Rodolfo Martinez's company.
Yeah, and how did Rodolfo find you?
I was on Twitter. And his Lucha Comics came up, and I friended them, and I sent him a message, told him that I had a comic, and he was like, let me read it, and he wound up liking it.
Nice. Yeah, no, I was looking at his stuff. That's why I was asking. I was on the site the other day. So let's take a look here. So we have different tiers. The first one here we see is a $15 tier. Where you will receive a digital PDF copy of the entire graphic novel. And then if we go to 25, let's see, you get the final print edition, which will be over 800 pages. So you have bonus
100. We are not promising 800 pages. This isn't Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, it's not.
Very few things are. And normally, actually, I just changed my poster behind me to a Zelda piece because I just love Link so much. But underneath that is a Lord of the Rings poster. Every wall in my room has something Lord of the Rings on there. I'm a huge Tolkien fan. So, that's cool. Let's see. I'm just also liking the art that you got. So 45, Out for Blood. So you get the book, the PDF and a bonus print signed by the artist. Nice. Now, oh, this actually sounds kind of cool. A Lucha graphic novel subscription. Not only will you get a copy of BITEMARK, but you also receive 3 more Lucha comic titles before everyone else. Nice. That is really nice. Now I see here. Where is CA? That's Canada, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so Lucha Graphics is in Canada, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And you guys are here in America.
Yes.
Okay. The Revenge Dish. So perfect for retailers and book clubs. Receive 5 copies as well as a 1-hour Zoom call with the team behind the book. Will also include signed print. You know what? I really like this one here. One of my favorite things to see on Kickstarters are a retailer tier. I want to see independent books in stores.
Yeah.
It's you know, I do read very little mainstream, and it's been years since I've read mainstream. It's only recently I started getting back into like Marvel and DC, and really only DC because I'm a big DC guy. But I never seen it put out for a book club, and I think that is fantastic for a bunch of people to get some books and put it together. But what I really like is the 1-hour Zoom call that you guys can chat with them after they've read the book, or a shop can use it to promote your book and have you guys, they can sit down, bring customers in the store and have them ask you questions. I think that is a fantastic idea.
Yeah, it's a good deal.
Yeah, that is really nice. I like that a lot. And then the Path to Vengeance. This is definitely for the retailers. So they'll get 15 copies of the books, 15 limited art prints, and a 1-hour. Again, this is another great tier here. I'm sorry, I've missed some comments, I think. Oh no, we're good right now. Where am I here? This is fantastic. And the Path to Vengeance. This is only available at comic shops in southwestern Ontario. You purchase 15 copies, the same as the Path to, but they'll get free local. Okay. And your very own comic cover. Yep, that's right. One of our experienced artists will create a comic book cover for you. We will work with you to create a piece. So this is so they can use it on their own piece. So this is like a commission, almost a piece of war. That is nice. That is a really good deal, and that's a nice price for a comic cover.
Yeah.
And then the Hungry Ghosts. This back in 15 copies, as well as 15 of the previous Hungry Ghosts. Now, Hungry Ghosts is a book from Lucha. That's not one of the books you've been part of, correct?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
It's the book that Lucha had funded through Kickstarter before us.
Okay.
Yeah. In a record 2 or 3 days too.
Really, that is nice.
Yeah.
And that's the local pickup of it. And then the custom package. This gets artwork, script reviews, team. Okay, so this is somebody who is looking basically to create their own book, and you're basically giving them, Lucha's giving them help in doing that. I think that's fantastic. Same thing here: pitch development, script, storyboard. Wow, these are good tiers here. And this one will get your very own comic. Wow. Want to receive a signed copy? Okay. You retain all the rights. Interesting. I like this. And then this one's all gone. Okay, so that was like your starting one. This is a really nice really nice Kickstarter here. Okay, let's go. Where do I want to go? I guess back up here. Dun, dun. And it looks like you've gotten more since you've been on air. So congratulations.
Yes. Yeah, funny that.
I hope that this show is part of the reason. There's 70 hours to go, which isn't too bad. You got 40 backers, and you're literally like halfway there. That's fantastic. Yeah, I think you could totally pull this off. I love seeing great work being brought to life by what's the word I'm looking for? By creatives. You know, I like seeing creatives of all ages making stuff, and this is something you guys are passionate about. I really enjoy that a lot. You know, when I look at
Mike's gone again.
Oh, I'm sorry. When I look for stuff, because I'll surf Kickstarter. Hold on. Hello again.
What happened? Everything started spinning and blacked out.
Are you on your?
Out? Are you? Do you need to lay down?
No, it was like your video boxes started spinning, and then next thing I know, it logged out.
Interesting. Are you on a phone or a laptop or something?
Laptop.
Interesting. Are you using Chrome?
Yes, I am.
Okay, because this StreamYard works best with Chrome.
Yeah, that's what I'm using. Yeah.
So as I was saying before you so rudely disappeared, I was saying I really enjoy watching people bring stuff to life. So I do think you have a really good chance of bringing this to fruition, you know, through Kickstarter. I really have been enjoying what I'm seeing here. I mean,
thank you.
This is really fantastic. Give me a moment here. I want to move to another page. This is what is this?
That's the website.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm not. This wasn't what I was looking for. Oh, this here, the Google Drive. I wanted to show some of the promo art. I was sent some of the promo art, and I just wanted to show. I mean, they've seen a few of it already through, through the Kickstarter.
Yeah.
But I just, what I really like about these, I see this as merch.
Yeah.
Like
that one definitely has a button on a T-shirt, something along the lines of that. These are really nice. And, we got Devan to thank for all of it.
Yeah.
I love how you did, like, the people, if you want to say, are haunting her.
Yeah, like that guy.
Yeah.
Just only the most appropriate of workplace physical contact.
I will say this was one of my favorite panels. This is why I used it for the ad. I just really enjoy this piece a lot. Excuse me. And again, I really think a nice piece of merch, T-shirt, whatever.
Yeah.
Again, this piece, which is your favorite piece right there, this is definitely something.
Well, second favorite. I think my actual favorite, it might be later on in this drive folder.
Okay. But yeah, I see a lot. I hope this is the plan to use these as merch. This is great too. I mean, I'm just seeing this on a T-shirt or even a mug.
Yeah.
That one is my favorite.
That's your favorite.
That's my favorite too.
It's really nice.
Just face and hands covered in blood, but she's still got this friendly, tender look in her eye.
Mm-hmm.
It's terrifying but inviting, and the fact that it's inviting just makes it more terrifying.
Let's see. I think this maybe one more after this. This is a nice piece too. Like again, another piece of merch. Oh, it brought me back to the beginning. That was the first one.
This is the one that's not in like a transparent circle.
Oh, okay, that's right. Now, how long did it take you to illustrate this book?
Definitely over a year. Would you say it was like a year and a half?
Yeah, we started in like late 2020. We finished in March of 2022.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah, no, that it looks like there's a lot of work that went into this with just the light and the shadow and all the cool stuff like that you've done that really makes the artwork pop, makes it exciting to look at here. If I can, I'm sorry, I'm going back on here. You're not even on here. I do love that werewolf bursting on the page, that black with that white eye. And whatever he's crashing through there.
Thanks. I'm really proud of that one too.
And now, Devan, just out of curiosity, you said you've been working on other side projects. Do you have like a webcomic out or other books that you've done that people can see?
Webcomic, yes. Don't want to spend too much time on it since that's not really that's not really the main course of the day. But
no, it's okay. Pitch it. Let's hear it. Tell us where we can find it.
Well, it's kind of a mobster revenge story with a bit of a supernatural twist. It's called Miss Morgue. It's about a singer in a mob-run town whose voice has the strange power to raise up the souls of the dead.
Interesting. And where can we find this story?
I got it hosted on like Webtoon and Tapas. I don't know I don't know the preferred way of pronouncing.
I pronounce it tapas.
It was easier when it was Tapastic.
Yeah.
Even then that sounds wrong as it leaves my lips.
Now you said it's called Miss Morgue.
Yeah.
I will definitely be looking. Let me write that down just real quick here. Miss and just MS or MISS?
MISS.
MISS. Okay, and that's on Webtoon. Now, just curious, just speaking of Webtoon, do you post it as like a comic page, or do you follow the Webtoon scroll, format?
I was never really that much of a fan of the vertical scrolling format of Webtoon. I mean, I understand the appeal. I understand how it is for like vertical phone watching, reading. But I draw and compose all my stuff on pages anyway, so when I put it on there, all I really do is just stack two pages onto each other and put them up every week instead of it being just 2 pages a week on other places.
Now, obviously, you work digitally with adding in the shadows and the halftone effects and stuff. Is this, when you're saying pages, are you drawing traditionally and then scanning them, or you do everything digital?
Traditional, actually. You can probably actually see the desk and all of my pens behind me.
Yeah.
Another holdover from me being really into the manga style is just that I lean a lot more into just the way that they draw things classically. They even tracked down the same kind of pen nibs they use for their ink.
Oh, cool. One more question about Miss Morg. How long have you been doing it, and how many chapters are up? So 2 more.
I started it in the winter, like the December of 2020, I think.
Okay.
Actually, and it's been going ever since. I just started chapter 36.
Wow.
I
Okay,
think.
that's great. Congratulations on that. I know, speaking as someone who did webcomics years ago when they were first like popping out in the 90s.
You were a pioneer in the old days.
Oh no one knew who I was, but yeah, thank you for mentioning the old days to me. It's okay, man. I love the
like that.
I love all the old days. You know, I'm one of those. I'm a grumpy old man. Well, middle-aged man, I guess. Yeah, it's no, it's cool. I love the experience. I've done a few webcomics over the years, and I understand the difficult task of being able to do something like that. Now, I did want to ask, and the reason I brought up, webcomics first, I want to know more about your stuff, but secondly, have you guys, just looking at what you've done together, have you thought about future projects? Have you thought about another book together, maybe a webcomic? Or
Yeah, we were actually talking about another project. It's another horror project, but it's a martial arts revenge kind of thing.
okay, you might have me on martial arts.
Yeah, it's an amalgamation of everything that's ever influenced me, basically.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, for all the write-ups, all of the stuff I've been seeing from him, the best tell I can give you is that it's basically like Evil Dead mixed with like 36 Chambers of Wu-Tang. That was the movie, right? The one that Wu-Tang Clan gets all their samples from?
Yeah.
All right. I mean, that is definitely an interesting mix. And wow, now listen, I would love to see more of what you're doing now. Like I said, I haven't finished the book. I haven't read too far into it just because of my schedule, but I do have a copy of it. I will be sitting down and reading it and letting you guys know exactly what I think of it. I've had a lot of enjoyment just staring at the art, and I'll tell you, some of the reason I haven't read a lot of the book is because I stop and just stare at the art. As an artist, I tend to do that. I like I said, I geek out about art, and this is something that it has such a fun feel, even though it's a horror. Just like I said, the art just feels fun, and the story is good. So I need to sit down and just get through it. I love reading all comics.
Yeah, man, comics are beautiful.
Listen,
Yeah.
I grew up on strips before I moved to books. And I love, for me, it was always the serialness of like comic strips, and then how getting into books and you got to wait a month as opposed to a day, and that thought where I got to play with my imagination. Now with all these great like graphic novels out, you don't have to wait, but I could imagine all the other stuff afterwards, or I'll read them in sections so I can have that serialness to it. Even a normal manga would take me about an hour to an hour and a half to read. All right, I sometimes push it out over a few days, and I'll read like 2 chapters, stop, because I want that serialness to it. And that's just one of the loves. But I do enjoy. It's almost like it's now like binging TV shows. I don't watch regular TV anymore. I binge stuff constantly. And that's what I love about like graphic novels and stuff. And that's what your stuff is giving me the feel of. I just got to get past stopping to look at art all day. Yeah, you know what? I'm out of questions for you guys. Is there anything that you guys would like to chat about that we haven't discussed yet, whether it's about the book or projects or whatever?
I can't think of anything.
Can't think of anything. Well, how about you, Devan?
Not really. I mean, I can ask a completely. I can bring up a completely irrelevant talking point, like, would you rather stand in a river full of leeches or sit on an anthill?
Yeah, that's something
tough.
I'd have to think about. Now I'm thinking about it. Okay, the big question before I give an answer is, am I naked in this or do I have clothes on for protection?
How much does it really matter? I mean, if an
matters a lot.
if an ant wants to get somewhere, it's gonna get there.
I understand that, but still, I might have to choose the anthill. I don't know. I grew up with anthills in the areas I lived in, but they weren't huge, you know.
Yeah, man, they used to use leeches for medical purposes.
Yeah,
Couldn't be that bad.
Yeah, I've had at one point I did get a leech on me once years ago. In a it was in a lake by my house. There was a God. I was I don't even know how old I was, but I know I had it on me and I had to pull it off. It wasn't fun. But,
is there a trick to getting those things off? Like,
you know what? I don't remember.
Or you just straight up yank it?
Honestly, I think I just
would do more
smacked
damage.
I don't remember. I think I smacked it, or my friend did something to help me. Although I grew up in a very wooded area. It didn't seem like that, but we could explore woods and do different stuff, and we had lakes that you couldn't see into, and so I believe it was a leech. I would think so. Yeah, I remember something on my arm, sticking my hand in the water and coming up with stuff on my arm. And having to
plural. It was
I
more
would
than
think
one
it was.
leech?
I think it was one or two, and then I had a friend. He pushed me into that lake as a joke, and there was a God, what I can't remember. It was a snake, but it's a all black snake. I can't remember what kind it was, but I saw it like swimming towards, and I jumped the hell out and ran and got into a fight with my friend. So. Like we got into a physical fight about that.
Did you win?
I don't remember. Probably not. Probably. I was wet and scared of a snake. I'm going back to being like, maybe 11, 12 years old, It's a long time in my childhood. I don't even know why I just shared all that stuff. But but yeah, let's not ask questions like that anymore. I've had a interesting life. I don't want to have to think about things like that. So
if you were on
what?
If you were on a desert island, what one comic series would you take with you?
Oh God. Gru.
What's that?
Gru, done by Sergio Aragonés, like the greatest cartoonist of all time.
Never heard of it.
Hold on. Here are two books I haven't read yet because I'm waiting for issue 2. But this is Gru versus the Gods.
Oh, that's cool.
If you love humor, it's not just funny. Sergio does some really amazing, really interesting work, but he tells these stories with morals and this educational value to it. And I don't even want to look in the book anymore. Sorry, it's.
I've never like read any of his stuff, but I've seen bits of his art everywhere, and it just really is good. It just has this carefree whimsy to it.
Yeah, he's best known for his work for Mad Magazine. He used to do all the pantomime strips in Mad Magazine.
Oh, okay.
He would do the what they call the marginals, the little small strips there, like the little things in the corner. He was. I don't want to say he's still around and doing art, man. And he's considered like the greatest cartoonist of all time, considered the fastest cartoonist of all time. He is my all-time favorite artist. I discovered him when I was 8 years old. I don't want to say I discovered him. I discovered his work when I was 8 years old, and I was in the hospital for a week, and someone gave me a Mad magazine, and it was like that was it for me. And then
Yeah.
anything I've seen with Sergio's name on it, I purchase just because I'm such a fan. And it's if you like to laugh, if you like to, you know, absurdity of I don't want to say design, but you know, of life, his observational humor, the way he does, it's just fantastic. And I always preferred humor over any other, um, you know, type of comic. And what I do, I tend to do a lot of humor. I'm highly inspired by people like him, people like Fred Hembeck, who was known for doing humorous takes on superheroes back in like the 70s and 80s, and probably even late 60s. I don't remember when he started his career, but yeah, like people like that, I've always been influenced by, um, and I just really love what I see through them. And I, you know, I try to bring some of that to my work if I can, but in my own with my own take and style on it. You know, obviously, I'm a trained animator, a character animator, so my background, I love animation. I can look at all the, you know, the humor, a lot of my humor when I write specifically, I write like I'm writing an animated cartoon. So sometimes my jokes, which I think are always funny, or usually funny, may not work in strip, but if I animated them, I think they would be hysterical, you know? So, but I can tell my jokes faster in a comic than I can through animation. So I do comics as well. You know, but yeah, I mean, listen, there's a lot of great artists out there. I read a lot of, I don't want to say a lot, but I read manga and, you know, anime I grew up on. I can't tell you names of any of those guys. And not because I'm one of those people who think the art looks the same all the time. It's just I'm terrible with names. I'm terrible pronouncing names, and you know,
especially when they're in when they're in a language you don't know.
Exactly. So, but you know, then you know, I can look at American comics and I can sit here and talk to you about strip artists. You know, like Dick Brown or you know, obviously Charles Schultz, character people like that, or you know, whatever. But then I go to comic book artists and I can look at like Jerry Ordway is one of my all-time favorite of modern, if you want to call them modern artists. You know, John Romita just passed away, who was best known for doing his Marvel stuff, and he's the version of Spider-Man I look at. You know, he's my favorite Spider-Man artist.
What name was that?
John Romita.
Oh yeah.
Because John Romita Jr.
I heard about Romita's passing about a week ago. Tragic.
Yeah. No, I mean, listen, he was in his 90s, I believe. You know, he had a long life, but he's a legend that left a lot of inspiration to people like me and you guys. If you read his stuff, I don't know, but I'm a Jack Kirby fan. I love all the classics. Hal Foster, you know, Alex Raymond. You look at the old classic artists, you know, like Alex Raymond. He's what is he? He's Flash Gordon. You know, Hal Foster is Prince Valiant and stuff like that. All those old comic strips, those are what really inspire me. You know, but I think I'm taking a little too much time talking about myself. This show is not about me. It's me. It's about you guys. And
hey, we spent the last like 55 minutes talking about this.
It's okay. Yeah. It's okay. I can, but the problem is I can ramble on. I used to be a teacher full time, and you know, I'm used to talking to people. So it's you know, it's not something I wanna do right now on this show. I have other streams I do where I talk, and people can hear me talk about all these things. But yeah, listen, I'm gonna wrap up in a moment. I'm gonna ask you guys to hang back in the green room after I let you guys go. But I want to tell you, I've had a wonderful time chatting with you guys. You know, when you're number one, I wish you a lot of luck in funding this Kickstarter. I think this is a great concept. I think a lot of people need to be seeing this and backing you guys. I wish nothing but the best for both of you with this and your future projects and careers, whether they're together or apart. And I want to say you guys are welcome back anytime that you have something you need to promote, or you just want to say, hey, listen, I got an idea to chat with you guys, for a show to chat with. Let me know, and I'll set something up. I really enjoyed speaking with you guys. So thank you guys for
I'd
coming
love to.
on.
You're a cool guy. You're chill.
Yeah. Thank you for having us.
I really appreciate that. I'm going to drop you guys backstage. I'll just do my closing and just hang out a bit.
Yeah, cool.
All right. All right, guys. So that was my show for tonight. Had a lot of fun talking with both Devan and Michael. Please go to the Kickstarter. I don't think I dropped it in the chat yet, so let me go do that before I forget. They are halfway to their... Where's my mouse? They're halfway to their goal, and they got less than 3 days to fund it. I really think if you guys check out this project, you will be interested in backing it. So it's BITEMARK by Lucha Comics. It's a horror werewolf story. I don't know what else to say. It just looks like a lot of fun. So I just added the links into the comments. Please help them out. I will see you guys next week. I have another great guest coming on. We're gonna have a lot of fun. I got actually a really cool July planned. I will say this: there's going to be a day at the local comic shop that I frequent, the Spider's Web over in Yonkers at 887A Yonkers Avenue, across from the casino. There's going to be a kids' day. I'll be there drawing for kids for free. I might have some original art for sale, might have some prints, but it'll be me and maybe one or two other artists. It's going to be at the Spider's Web. I will get you that date, but the Spider's Web will be on with me again. We will be talking to them about this kids' day. Maybe the other artists will be on. We'll figure it out. But yeah, that's coming up in July, and I got some really cool guests coming up as well. So yeah, I mean, I'll see you guys next week. Thanks for watching. Whenever you're watching, wherever you're watching from, I really appreciate it. And please don't forget to click the link to the Kickstarter in the comments section and give a little. All right, you guys, I will see you soon.